At 510 Video Podcast, we explore the rich world of museums, history, and culture through immersive storytelling and engaging visuals. From timeless artifacts to untold stories, we produce captivating content that brings the past into the present. Join us as we uncover the artistry, heritage, and innovation behind museum collections, one episode at a time. History, culture, inspiration, curated for you. At 510 Video Podcast, we explore the rich world of museums, history, and culture through immersive storytelling and engaging visuals.
This is the documentary for the Domini Hoskins Black History Museum and Learning Center. Did I say that name right?
It's Domini.
Domini? Okay, Domini. Why don't we start then by telling me, how did you come across that name? How did he get that name?
I named the museum after my grandson. And it all came about where Domini was going to school in Belmont. And so, of course, during February, you had to do a report on a famous African American. So we did 2 reports on Dr. King. So he says to me, Grammy, I am not doing another report on Dr. King because I know everything there is to know about him. Of course he didn't, but he thought he did. So his question to me was, weren't there any other famous black people that did anything other than Dr. King?
Good question.
So I kind of looked at him and I saying, okay, now how am I going to answer this? So I said, well, Domini, there's so many people that Dr. King admired. So we started just researching and doing this just as a little school project. And so other schools up and down the peninsula heard about it. So we just started traveling back and forth. But, you know, then it was easy. We would just rent a van and go to the different schools. But, of course, there's so much history.
Right.
And it kept growing and growing and growing until what you see today is 22,000 square feet of African American history.
Wow. Okay, so tell me, why don't I roll it back a little bit? Okay, Domini wanted to do his report on someone other than Martin Luther King. So how did you decide who next for him to do his report on?
Well, when we started researching, and the thing that was so amazing to me, and he really got involved in it, was the inventions. Because you look back through history and you think that blacks were not allowed to learn to read and write. It was illegal. And then you look at all of the things that we use each and every day that African Americans invented.
Yes, and we were not permitted in the beginning, right?
Yes.
We weren't permitted to read and write. Tell me, but then where did you decide to go first? Because you have so many artifacts and so much history in here. Where did you decide to go first on your journey to get, like, say, for instance, your first piece? Where did it come from? How did it happen?
Well, the first thing that was so fascinating to me that I wanted to know more about was the history. And because, you know, we were always taught that we came from royalty. We came from doctors and lawyers and kings and queens. So to me, it was important to understand how a race of people were, you may as well say, just captured and forced to come to America for free labor. So to me, that was so important to learn more about that history. So we kind of started at that point.
Okay. Carolyn Hoskins, tell me about you, because it takes a strong, phenomenal woman to do all of this. So tell me a little bit about your background.
Well, I'm originally from Edwardsville, Illinois,
Okay.
which is about 15 minutes from St. Louis, Missouri.
Uh-huh.
And so my family and I came to California in the early 70s when my husband, Bob Hoskins, was drafted by the San Francisco 49ers. So I was, which my husband is deceased now. He passed away in 1980 from a heart attack at the age of 34.
Oh, so sorry to hear that.
And so we just stayed here in California, and I became involved, of course, with the NFL alumni on the board of directors for that. And so doing other different charity works, it was very hard for me.
Right.
If someone said, you know, can you help with this, then it was always yes. So I was involved in a lot of other different charities. We do this huge, which this year was the 34th annual celebrity toy drive that we do. And we give toys to small organizations that get lost in the shuffle. So I was excited about that. Christmas is my favorite time of the year. So we would find a building and we would turn it into a winter wonderland. And I would decorate 100 themed Christmas trees. So I enjoy, you know, doing those kind of things. And so it was never in my wildest dreams to ever consider this journey of having a Black History Museum.
It just happened upon you, and you just, got the bug? It's like you started, and there was just a fire put in you that you just...
Well,
Because
you know,
this is amazing. This is a lot.
when you research the history, and we have always been taught that we have never really contributed to America.
Right, right.
That we were illiterate. George Washington said that we had a smell to us. So there was so much negativity
Right.
always brought about the African American race. And so when you start researching the history and to find out all of the great contributions
Right.
that we have made to make America great, to make
Yes.
America strong,
Right.
you just keep wanting to continue to, you get so excited about it.
Yes.
And that's where I am. And then when you, here at the museum, when you have students to come in, and we've had like 72 fifth graders come at one time.
Oh, yeah, and because you have a learning center
The Learning
encompassed
Center.
in the museum. So, yeah, tell us about that also.
For me, you know, the museum, I love it. But the Learning Center is so important to me, to be able to have the opportunity to tell my story.
Right.
And to share my history. You know, we have all endured and listened to other races and other nationalities' history, which
Right.
is great.
Yes, it is
Because
beautiful.
every race and nationality has contributed to America.
Yes.
But it seems that it's a hidden mystery when it comes to African American history.
I totally agree. It's like our history is put under a bushel, and no one wants, well, not no one, but it's not allowed to shine as much as some of the other cultures. And I guess that goes back to segregation, suppression.
But once you see and understand the history, then you understand why it is a hidden history because our history is so rich.
Yes.
It's so exciting. African Americans are powerful or strong, resilience. We may get knocked down, but we rise again.
Oh, that is so true.
And so once
so
you
true.
see where, for instance, when I remember, and it stood out so much to me when Reverend Jesse Jackson came and was talking to Facebook and other technology companies, and they were saying, well, you know, it was hard for black children to learn. And he made the comment and he said, you know, it's because they don't have the equipment, they don't have the computers, they don't have all of the technology because they're, again, they can't afford it. A lot of them are being raised by grandparents. But about that is the fact that they know if black students have the proper equipment,
Yes.
they're going to excel. They're going to outshine any other race or nationality because that's who we are. These young kids just have not been given the opportunity where other kids have been able to have that. It's just like a sponge. They will just absorb it if they have the proper tools.
So what do you suggest we do about that? Because I know it's a problem amongst a lot of races, you know, not having the proper equipment and tools. And I know they've been trying to solve that problem for a long time. What is the answer? Is there an answer?
Well, I think everything is like awareness, letting your voices be heard. You know, come up with a plan. One thing about Dr. King, he always mapped things out. He had a plan for what he was doing. And you need to be able to let corporate America know that we're important. We support you. We put our dollars there.
Right.
And so if we feel that you are not going to support us, then we will put our dollars somewhere else. But I think, especially for Black America, it has always been hard for them to band together. And as you look through the exhibit here at the museum and you come to the exhibit of Malcolm X, and he said, whenever Black America wakes up and realize how important it is to stand together, to band together, how powerful you can be. You do have that power.
You know, you were talking about African Americans sticking together, and standing up together. We are, I believe, one of the least united races.
Definitely
and
so.
it's sad to say it, but that's been my observation. In order for us to stand up, get stronger, and be united, we have to get united. We have to, and that doesn't mean, I'm not saying we all have to think the same way and agree, you know, on the same things, but we need to have more unity.
Right.
I don't understand why it takes us so long as a Black race to come together and be cohesive and to support each other longer than it does other races. And I don't think us being in captivity and slavery is a reason.
But I think, too, what we have to be able to do and what we are planning to do here at the museum is to educate.
That's
As
what's up. Yes.
the thing about it is, education is so powerful.
Yes.
And I think people need to understand that you definitely cannot erase the past.
Right,
The
right.
past is important
Yes.
to learn about the struggles that our ancestors went through.
Right.
And to also know that you've taken little steps to get better. But we
Right.
still, even in 2025,
Uh-huh.
have a long way to go.
Yes.
And I think for me, what I want to do is to educate people about what the meaning of the word being a slave is, what the meaning of the word prejudice is. I think
Yes.
you have forgotten what those things mean.
I agree.
And to make a Black America more aware, especially today, as to what is going on, because it doesn't matter whether you are a poor African American, in the middle, or high income.
Yes.
We're moving backwards. It
Oh,
does
wow.
not matter. And I think that the thing that is happening is people are not aware of so much that is going on. So it's back to being able to, where like back in my day, you got a lot of your education through the churches,
Yes.
through the Black organizations, through the NAACP, which is one of the oldest and strongest organizations that's out there. We all need to band together and educate our own people. Don't wait for somebody else to do it.
That's right, because they're not going to, and it's
No.
our responsibility. So what is the first step? Because you talked about education, and I think that's the main thing, the key. But we need to educate on unity and togetherness. Normally we wait on somebody to take the lead. What do we do? I don't know what we do this
But,
time.
it's like the first step, I think, is there again within the churches. There again within certain programs, which like Jack and Jill program, any Black organization.
What's Jack and Jill?
Jack and Jill is an organization which I can't remember all of the statistics on it, but they really focus on young African American children and education. And, say, even for us here at the museum, to really reach out more, I think you just have to just stop and know the truth. Because you look at it, and I see it all the time here at the plaza, and when they have anything pertaining to Hispanic Day, which I participate, the plaza is full of
Exactly.
Hispanics with their whole family.
Yes.
We went there a couple of months ago, and I had a bunch of books that were in Spanish for children, and I gave away like 200 books to
well, so
the
kind.
kids. But there again, we've had different programs here. We have started and will continue it, an entrepreneur workshop. And what we were focusing on was to get young Black children that are really so talented within art or jewelry making, whatever they do, because we see them at street fairs, selling out of their cars, whatever. And
Yes.
I understand and know that a lot of times there again, the grandparents or the parents, they don't have the funding to continue to purchase art supplies or jewelry stuff.
Right.
So we wanted to be able to work with them
Oh, that's so kind.
and have them move up to the next level. Have them do like a vendor fair here. Part of the proceeds they will be able to keep. The other part of the proceeds will go to a bank account that we will set up for them. And we want them to be able to learn how to manage their money and to instill in them to have your own business. No matter
that sounds so great.
how young you are.
Right.
But in saying that, we did a lot of advertisement, and it was one person that came.
One person?
And so there
How many
again,
vendors did you have?
So
Did you have?
we've done this twice. But there again, it's time to call out the parents, because the kids want to do these things. It's the parents, for whatever reason, won't take the time. African American parents, that's it. And I'm speaking from experience. I had they had the same kind of little concept. They had a little vendor thing for young entrepreneurs here in Redwood City at the Redwood City Library in the parking lot.
Okay.
So I had taken my grandson there. There again, it was only one African American that participated.
Oh my goodness. So only one African American participated. Even when you had your event here, only one participated. That's sad. What about the traffic coming through? Was there traffic coming through? Were there people supporting it? Because I also tend to notice that folks don't support African American events the way they do other cultures.
The only thing that I know, and I was brought up, and that's to tell the truth.
Right.
And through my journey here with this museum, white America has supported me more than African Americans, and it's their history. And you will find that more white Americans that have come in here know more about my history. When I have tried to speak with African American, especially African American men, because we do an event at the San Mateo County Fair each year, and we set up different events for Black history there.
Okay.
And we started off small. This will be our 13th year being invited back there.
Oh, congratulations.
And this year we're going to be focusing on Black athletes in the NFL. And so we would stop different people as we were going around, because at one point EA Sports had donated a bunch of games to me. And so we were out asking people, come into our exhibit and, learn about the history. And they would say, oh, I don't want to know anything about slavery. I don't want to know anything depressing about that. And they had, biracial children, other ones just had children, that this is the future. They need to know about their history.
From timeless artifacts to untold stories, we produce captivating content that brings the past into the present. Join us as we uncover the artistry, heritage, and innovation behind museum collections, one episode at a time. History, culture, inspiration, curated for you. At 5:10 Video Podcast, we explore the rich world of museums, history, and culture through immersive storytelling and engaging visuals. From timeless artifacts to untold stories, we produce captivating content that brings the past into the present. Join us as we uncover the artistry, heritage, and innovation behind museum collections, one episode at a time. History, culture, inspiration, curated for you. At 5:10 Video Podcast, we explore the rich world of museums, history, and culture through immersive storytelling and engaging visuals. From timeless artifacts to untold stories, we produce captivating content that brings the past into the present. Join us as we uncover the artistry, heritage, and innovation behind museum collections, one episode at a time. History, culture, you. At 5:10 Video Podcast, we explore the rich world of museums, history, and culture through immersive storytelling and engaging visuals. From timeless artifacts to untold stories, we produce captivating content that brings the past into the present. Join us as we uncover the artistry, heritage, and innovation behind museum collections, one episode at a time. History, culture, inspiration, curated for you. At 5:10 Video Podcast, we explore the rich world of museums.